The Philippines, a land of majestic volcanoes, sprawling coastlines, and resilient people, is now standing on the edge of an unfolding crisis. With every passing storm and every tectonic shift beneath its soil, 2025 has delivered one alarming message: disaster is no longer a possibility. It is an inevitability. Scientists, government officials, and humanitarian organizations are sounding the alarm. The question is not if it will happen, but where first. Imagine being forced to leave your home not because of war, but because your land is vanishing under floods, ash, or seawater. Imagine watching your town go dark after a volcano eruption, or seeing roads collapse in an earthquake. These are not distant fears. They are today's headlines. We've analyzed expert reports, PHIVOLCS bulletins, and government data to identify 20 provinces at serious risk of collapse due to natural disasters in 2025 and 2026. Can you guess which province tops the list? Which ones are already under state of calamity, and which are quietly becoming ghost towns? Type your guess in the comments right now and stay with us. We'll reveal the most vulnerable province before this video ends. And trust me, the name will shock you. Before we continue, just a reminder, everything you're hearing in this video isn't just opinion or assumption. These are real events, backed by verified news sources, government data, and official statements. If you want to read them yourself, I've included the links in the description and pinned comment below this video. Number 1. Pangasinan. Coastal beauty meets creeping disaster in Pangasinan. Ranked as the most at-risk province by the XDY Climate Damage Index, this low-lying Luzon province is a textbook example of silent catastrophe. Just last October, the wrath of Storm Christine triggered a massive 3-meter storm surge along the Lingayen Gulf, displacing over 500 families, according to official NDRRMC records. Floods, once seasonal inconveniences, are now near-permanent fixtures in the barangays. But the real terror lurks offshore. PHIVOLCS simulations show a potential 8.4 magnitude quake on the Manila Trench could unleash a tsunami reaching up to 15 meters, crashing onto Pangasinan's coastlines within minutes. "We're not just drowning," a local official told GMA News in 2025. "We're sinking." Number 2. Pampanga. In the heart of central Luzon, Pampanga faces a dual threat: drowning from above and destruction from beneath. The province sits atop ancient lahar fields from Mount Pinatubo, while also lying at the mercy of swollen rivers like the Pampanga River. In 2020, nearly 3,000 people were preemptively evacuated before Typhoon Raleigh struck. But in 2025, experts say that level of caution might not be enough. Government planners warn that climate change has increased rainfall beyond Pampanga's outdated drainage systems. "We used to worry about one big typhoon," said a barangay captain in San Fernando. "Now it's 3 in a row." The next one might wash away more than rice fields. Number 3. Nueva Ecija. In the rice granary of the Philippines, water has become both a gift and a curse. Nueva Ecija has seen a worrying uptick in flooding events, none more haunting than the aftermath of Typhoon Pepito in late 2024. Photos from the Manila Times showed residents wading through knee-high water as far as the eye could see. Pagasa's February 2025 rainfall bulletin projected rainfall of over 100 millimeters per day, a number that could paralyze urban and rural life alike. "Our drainage is no match for this," admitted a city engineer in Cabanatuan. "Crop failure, infrastructure collapse, and mass evacuations loom unless the province rethinks its defenses." Number 4. Cagayan. Northern Luzon's Cagayan province has become a revolving door for evacuations. With over 24,000 people displaced in advance of Super Typhoon Usagi in 2024, disaster officials like Roily Rapsing have grown tired of sounding alarms. "We expect the river to swell again," he warned as another typhoon approached in November. Cagayan doesn't just face floods, it faces fury. The convergence of typhoon pathways, fragile infrastructure, and tsunami threats from the Manila Trench create a dangerous trifecta. And with many residents living in stilted homes by rivers and creeks, even moderate rainfall now puts thousands at risk. Number 5. Tarlac. It's easy to overlook Tarlac, tucked between Pampanga and Pangasinan, but the ground here is restless. Identified by scientists as highly susceptible to both floods and earthquakes, Tarlac sits perilously close to the West Valley Fault. Experts fear a cascading disaster, a storm-induced river flood followed by a major quake. During 2024's typhoon season, the Rio Chico overflowed, swallowing whole barangays for days. While no disaster has yet occurred on the scale feared, government engineers say the next big one could shatter infrastructure and render swaths of Tarlac uninhabitable. Number 6. Bulacan. This province just north of Metro Manila is a ticking time bomb. Bulacan sits on the edge of the West Valley Fault and along rivers known to flood disastrously. In 2025, the Department of Public Works fast-tracked the construction of additional floodways, but for many, it's too late. Typhoons Christine and Pepito battered Bulacan's levees, leaving entire barangays submerged. Liquefaction concerns in the softer soils mean that an earthquake could reduce entire neighborhoods to rubble. One civil engineer described it plainly. Bulacan is Manila's buffer, and it's absorbing more than it can take. Number 7. Isabela. Isabela, one of the largest provinces by area, has become a giant bowl for the sky's wrath. Its valleys, once ideal for agriculture, now collect rainfall at devastating rates. During Typhoon Agay in 2023, over 1,000 millimeters of rain fell in less than a week, drowning crops and isolating towns. Pagasa now includes Isabela in almost every extreme weather advisory. Residents report a shift in storm behavior. They come faster, stronger, and stay longer, as one farmer put it. Without major upgrades to flood control systems, Isabela risks becoming a disaster zone where agriculture and habitation are no longer sustainable. Number 8. Leyte. The scars of Super Typhoon Yolanda are still visible in Leyte. Homes rebuilt, lives restarted, but the fear remains. In 2024, even less powerful storms like Tropical Storm Christine managed to kill and displace across the province. Tacloban, the capital, remains extremely vulnerable to storm surge and liquefaction. According to the NDRRMC, Leyte's infrastructure is among the most fragile in Visayas. "We rebuild, we cry, we pray," said a mother in Palo, Leyte, after her house flooded for the third time in a year. What happens when the next Yolanda isn't just stronger, but more frequent? Number 9. Davao del Sur. It may not lie in a typhoon's usual path, but Davao del Sur faces a quieter catastrophe: rising unpredictability. Climate models for Mindanao predict heavier, irregular rainfalls, and 2025 has already seen a preview. Flash floods tore through hillside villages near Mount Apo, and coastal communities along Davao Gulf recorded dangerous high tides. Though not in panic mode yet, the province's inclusion in XDY's top 10 reflects a growing awareness. Mindanao is no longer a climate-safe zone. "It's the silence before the storm," warned an environmental planner in Digos. Number 10. Catanduanes. They call it the Typhoon Gateway, and for good reason. In 2020, Super Typhoon Goni crashed into Catanduanes with 315 kilometers per hour winds, flattening everything in its path. Fast forward to 2025, and not much has changed. PHIVOLCS has identified active fault lines off its coast, and the ocean continues to batter the island's shores. Villagers here say typhoon season feels endless. As the first point of landfall for many storms, Catanduanes is essentially ground zero in the Philippines' disaster story. Number 11. Albay. A province shadowed by the magnificent yet menacing Mayon volcano, Albay lives with a constant threat. In 2020, Super Typhoon Goni devastated both Catanduanes and Albay, causing catastrophic floods and displacing thousands. Though Mayon has remained quiet, PHIVOLCS classifies it as active, and lahar flows are always a danger. In Legazpi, residents joke that they live between fire and water. But it's a nervous joke. With sea levels rising and typhoon seasons worsening, Albay teeters between natural beauty and natural catastrophe. Number 12. Sorsogon. Neighboring Albay, Sorsogon is home to Bulacan volcano, an unpredictable mountain known for sudden eruptions. When Goni struck, Sorsogon bore much of the brunt. Beyond volcanic risk, coastal villages are increasingly exposed to typhoons and flash floods. Landslides during the rainy season have already forced many to abandon hillside farms. "We move, we adapt," said a teacher from Gubat, "but one day the land may not let us come back." Number 13. Camarines Sur. With sprawling lowlands and river systems that overflow at the slightest provocation, Camarines Sur has become an annual flood victim. The Bicol River alone turns towns into lakes during heavy rain. In 2022's Payang storm, several landslides were reported, and evacuation centers overflowed. With both inland and coastal vulnerabilities, CamSur remains on constant watch lists, yet lacks the infrastructure of wealthier provinces to shield its people. Number 14. Batangas. Batangas may be famous for its resorts and coffee, but beneath its serene landscapes lies Taal Volcano, an active giant that erupted as recently as January 2025. PHIVOLCS issued Alert Level 1, yet residents were shaken by ash plumes and minor explosions. Combined with floods from recent storms like Christine, Batangas' dual exposure to volcanic and hydrological hazards makes it a high-risk area. The danger isn't hypothetical, it's erupting now. Number 15. Negros Occidental. Home to sugarcane fields and bustling cities, Negros Occidental is now under the shadow of Canlaon volcano's fury. In late 2024 and early 2025, PHIVOLCS issued multiple warnings as ash emissions darkened skies. Over 13,000 residents across the island were evacuated. Canlaon's history of mudflows, combined with heavy rains, makes the terrain especially dangerous. One evacuee told ABS-CBN, "We know this mountain. When it growls, we run." Number 16. Zambales. Often overlooked in disaster discussions, Zambales faces one of the gravest threats: tsunamis. The Manila Trench offshore could unleash waves as high as 15 meters. In 2024, PHIVOLCS warned that a major earthquake could flood Zambales coast within minutes. Meanwhile, the legacy of Mount Pinatubo's eruption continues to alter river paths and flood patterns. For Zambales, the question isn't just when, but whether its warning systems will be fast enough. Number 17. Palawan. Palawan, a tourism paradise, now finds itself battling climate change head-on. In February 2025, monsoon rains flooded 80 barangays, displacing over 23,000 residents. Rising sea levels are already swallowing its outer islands. Local officials worry that without national investment, Palawan may soon be a province of climate refugees. The beauty that draws tourists may become the burden that drives people away. Number 18. Eastern Samar. Eastern Samar, still haunted by Yolanda, is no stranger to calamity. But 2024 added a new fear: unbearable heat. Pangasinan recorded heat indices nearing 55 degrees Celsius, and this, combined with flooding and erosion, is forcing many to relocate inland. Coastal communities like Hernani face relentless storm surges, making daily life an act of survival. "It's not one disaster," a local said. "It's everything at once." Number 19. Ilocos Sur. Ilocos Sur, with its colonial charm and cliffside towns, faces an invisible but massive threat: tsunami. PHIVOLCS's simulation of a Manila trench quake shows waves could reach Vigan within minutes. Coupled with landslide-prone uplands and limited evacuation routes, Ilocos Sur is a powder keg. Officials conduct drills, but locals fear they may not be enough. Number 20. Ilocos Norte. Ilocos Norte mirrors its southern neighbor's risks, but adds another layer: aging infrastructure. Its coastal towns are stunning, but seawalls are crumbling and fishing communities are being pushed back by storm tides. A PHIVOLCS alert noted that waves from a Manila trench quake could devastate this coastline. As one mayor put it, "The sea is rising, and we're running out of land." From storm-swept islands to volcano-shadowed cities, these 20 provinces represent the front line of the Philippines' fight against nature. But this isn't just a story of fear. It's a call to action for better planning, stronger infrastructure, and deeper community awareness. What makes this nation vulnerable also makes it extraordinary: the resilience of its people. Still, resilience alone won't stop floodwaters or lava. We must prepare, because the next disaster isn't years away, it's tomorrow. Which province surprised you the most? Comment below. And don't forget to share this video to spread awareness, not fear. Because sometimes knowledge is the only warning we get.